In this video, we're going to introduce you to our Gentle Ab series, which challenges your core muscles. So you will be lying in neutral spine. If you need to review the neutral spine video, go ahead and do so, and make sure to have the props that you may need. And I'm going to give you 2 images to use throughout this whole sequence, and you can choose whichever one works best for you. So the first image is that your torso, from your sit bones to your shoulder, is a heavy sack of flour. It weighs a ton. So it's not rigid like a block of cement. It's soft and it's pliable, but it weighs a ton. So as you move your legs, the movement of your legs will have no impact on your torso at all. I'm going to give you another image because different people work differently. So if this works better for you, go ahead and use the second image. The second image is that I am shooting a video of your torso from your sit bones to your shoulders. I've got a video camera on your torso. And as you start moving your legs, your torso is so still that I don't even know your legs are moving. So inhale, and as you exhale, slide the right heel on the floor all the way out to straight without moving your pelvis at all. And inhale. And as you exhale, slide it back in and try to make your heel frictionless on the floor. Beautiful. And inhale. And exhale, slide the left leg all the way out to straight. And Jessie is demonstrating listening with her hands. Inhale. And with that frictionless heel, slide it back in so the heel's practically weightless. And inhale. And as you exhale, slide the right leg out. Inhale. Exhale, slide it back in. Inhale. And as you exhale, slide the left leg out. Frictionless heel. And inhale, and as you exhale, slide it back in. And if this is challenging you at all, go ahead and slide it back in. So keep going. If you're getting a little activation, just keep going with this version. For those of you who might want to feel more of a challenge, so notice Jessie is listening with her hands. She's listening for 0 movement in her pelvis. She should feel no movement under her fingers. If you need a little bit more of a challenge, go ahead and inhale. And as you exhale, frictionless heel, slide both legs out to straight and see how far you can go without moving your pelvis at all. Inhale and exhale, slide both heels back in. Frictionless heels, they're weightless. So whichever version you're doing, go ahead and inhale and exhale. Either slide one or both legs out to straight. And inhale and exhale. And either slide both or one leg back in. And we'll just do one more rep, and then we'll go on to the next in this sequence. Inhale, and exhale, slide one or both legs out to straight. And inhale, and exhale, and slide one or both legs back in. And your heels are frictionless. Next, we're going to go on to prancing. So, inhale, let right leg as light as a feather, just bring the knee up to the ceiling and the femur to vertical. And put the foot back down. And the crux is when you switch feet, bring the left knee up to the ceiling or to the femur to vertical. Leg as light as a feather, and put the foot back down. And the crux move is when you change from one foot to the other. Lift the right leg, making sure that you're not tipping your pelvis at all. And put the foot back down. And lift the left leg, making sure your pelvis is not tipping side to side at all. Leg is light as a feather. This is effortless. And put the foot back down. And just make sure that your femur doesn't go beyond the vertical, that it just goes right up, the knees pointing right up to the ceiling, and put the foot back down. And let's just do a few more. And again, for those of you for whom this might not be challenging, feel free to try to lift both knees up to the ceiling. This is quite challenging, so make sure you're ready, and then either put both feet or one foot down, whichever version you're doing. If you're doing both feet, go ahead and lift one or both, whichever version you're doing. If you're doing both feet, make sure you are not pooching out. If you're pooching out, you're not ready for this variation. Let's just do one or two more. So either both knees or one knee at a time. Legs are light as a feather, and this is fairly effortless. And let's just do one more repetition, either one leg or both legs. And then put the feet back down. And Jesse's making it look easy. It is not. We're going to go on to butterfly knees. Now I'm going to give you options here. So the first option is, again, I've got a video camera on your torso. I don't even want to know your legs are moving. You're just going to float the right leg, float it out to the side. Don't plop it down, but float it out as far as it will go without tipping the pelvis. And then float it back in. Again, the leg is light as a feather. And float the left leg out to the side without tipping your pelvis at all, as far as it will go without tipping the pelvis, and then float it back in. And go back to the right leg, float it out, and float it back in. And go to the left leg and float it out, and float it back in. Now if you would like a little more challenge, keep going if this variation is just right for you. For those of you who need a little more challenge, you're going to bring your legs into what we call tabletop, one leg at a time, so or 90-90, and it's the exact same exercise. Float the right leg out as far as it will go without tipping the pelvis, and bring it back and make sure you're not holding your breath, and float the left leg out as far as it will go without tipping the pelvis, and float it back in. And let's just do two more. Right leg out, and float it back in. And left leg out, and float it back in, and one more, right leg out as far as it will go without tipping the pelvis, and float it back in, and left leg out as far as it will go without tipping the pelvis, and float it back in, and we'll call that good.